All right, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in for another episode of the Dumpster Diaries. As always, I'm your host, Justin Allen, and this is
Moses Wartooth.
And we got some stuff for you today. So, Moses, I want you to go ahead and lead us, man, because I know you got some stuff you want to get off your chest real fast, right? Yeah,
we're going to start off by talking about our U.S. military and how they are failing us all.
Well.
Yeah, what a goddamn surprise. But it's not the troops' fault. It's the higher ups, as always.
Yeah, that's always the point, right?
Yeah, like it's never the boots on the ground. It's not their fucking fault. So
isn't it funny how that works?
Yeah, typical. Same could be said about most organizations, actually.
Yeah.
But so we'll start off with the Army. As of last year, they were down 15,000 recruits, and 2023 is looking to be worse than that.
15,000 recruits, like 15,000 soldiers.
15,000
fell short.
Yeah, short of their recruitment goal.
So their quota.
Yeah.
Holy shit, man.
So like
That's a lot.
In the past, in the further past, they've always exceeded that shit every time.
Yeah, 100%.
And now, like recently, they're saying it's tied to COVID, which I can understand. Just because they say when all the lockdowns led to obesity, led to lower test scores from shutting down schools, shutting down everything, people just getting fucking complacent, lazy, stupid. Drug use has increased. Of course, you got to be drug free. You at least have to pass a drug test to get in there.
Yeah, everybody I know now is like at least smoking weed.
Something.
Like way more to a whole nother level than what I thought. I was like, holy shit, you know? But I think like for me personally, man, like I kind of think, the pandemic or whatever you want to call it, right? Quote unquote pandemic.
Yeah.
It kind of showed people like there's other ways to make money.
For sure.
And do you think that has a problem with it?
No, because I think people are too lazy. If they can't even join the fucking military, they're not going to go out and become an entrepreneur. Like, they're going to start a fucking coffee shop or something.
I was thinking more of like Uber Eats.
As far as like delivering?
Yeah, dude.
Well, that's that's possible.
Like make your own schedule, do your own shit, be your own boss, right?
I can't bitch about that. I know that's what we enjoy.
You ever used Uber Eats?
I've had the service. I don't have the app, and I've never actually paid anyone to come deliver food to my house.
I mean, look at me, man. I'm guilty as fuck. I'm telling you, like, I fucking hate the goddamn Uber Eats and DoorDash.
DoorDash, yeah,
that's what it is. And I hate them both, man, because it's so expensive. Like, it basically doubles the price of your food, pretty much.
But you're paying that convenience tax.
Whoo, man, I'm telling you, like, when I get done with like school, like doing my job stuff and everything, man, like at the end of the day, I'm just like, fuck, I do not want to cook. And I'm telling you, all I gotta do is open that app and beep, boop, beep. And then like, damn, there's a large pepperoni pizza right there at the door. And they got it set up now. You can do contactless delivery or whatever.
You can be like, leave it at the door like, twice and go away.
I don't even want to talk to you. Like, I don't have to see you. Which is like the best, like, I don't know.
Well, COVID contributed to that shit too. Like, there's also been like, okay, so my water company, for instance, you could go in there to pay your bill. Ever since COVID happened, okay, that shit has been over for a couple years now. The lockdown stuff, like, you still can't enter that building. They were like, because they got used, they were like, man, this is badass. Like, same thing with doctors doing teleconference calls.
Oh, that happened to me.
That shit is shot through the roof.
I was like, why is this a thing, dude? Why can't I just go and pay my money? Because I was like really sick, and I was like, I need to see somebody, man. I mean, the stuff I had going on and everything. And she was like, well, let's do a teleconference. And I was just like, I think I'm actually dying.
Like, how are they going to diagnose me through a fucking phone screen that's 3 inch? Like, they can see my face, maybe.
Fuck them, dude. I don't know, man.
Dude, it's all laziness.
So you think, going back to the Army, man, do you think the Army's just like totally fucked?
The military in general. The Army was they fell the shortest, which actually they have like the easiest fucking requirements to get in.
Oh, I remember when we were around the time we were joining and stuff, like that was like one thing. The Army was like hawking.
The Army was like, do you have a fucking pulse? You're good to go, bud. Like, we'll get you out now.
Because we actually scored like fairly high on like the ASVAB and stuff. Like, contrary to what you may think.
I was gonna say, contrary to what we may talk about now, you motherfuckers, we're smarter than we think. We're smarter than we talk.
I think I scored like a 90 on that shit.
Yeah, and then I was high 80s.
Yeah, like, which is like insane because you look at the average. I don't even remember what the average was then, but I think it was like in the 40s.
And we still did grunt work basically. Like,
yeah, we ended up doing basically like Army jobs, in the Air Force. We were like, fuck, this sucks, dude. Like when I got deployed to Iraq, and I was like literally like with the Army, and I was just like, Oh, I fucked up.
Oh, Manuel Labor. But yeah, man. So aside from the Army, it'd be a great idea to have their digital ambassador. So it's a dude, but he's a cross-dresser and performs drag shows, and that's like so that they try to use that as a recruitment tool for the Navy.
I'm sorry, man. I got to cut you off. You said it's a dude who's a cross-dresser.
Yeah.
That officially works for the Navy.
He is the official digital ambassador is his title.
What the fuck is a digital ambassador?
I don't know. But he's probably the guy that's going to have to teach Jordan Peterson how to fucking talk right on the internet.
Is it re-education?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm waiting on those videos coming out for Jordan Peterson because he said, like, if he has to go to disciplinary board, which he's planning on, that he's going to put it all on YouTube.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
He should just film that shit live.
Well, it is filmed live
That's awesome.
in Canada, but he's going to, like, publish it to his own page.
Right
which
on.
he has millions and millions of followers.
Dude, I can't wait to watch that. We're going to have to do a video on that shit.
Yeah, just watch it, like, and we just, like, commentate on it.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That's pretty ballsy for the Navy to do, man.
And but it's failing. Like,
of course, dude.
At
the end of the day, man, like the majority of like service members typically lean more conservative.
Exactly.
So there's that.
Because the goddamn conservative party typically backs up the fucking military more. Like they they give our goddamn paychecks out.
But then again, it's almost like these idiots forget that like you're in the business of killing people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We're in the business of winning.
Yeah, dude. Like I would remind people, like when I was in the Air Force and stuff, like, you know, my job, we were building bombs, right? And they would always talk about like diversity and inclusion and like blah 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 blah, like feeling safe and like all this other stupid shit. And I would just be, I mean, which those things are important. Don't get me wrong, to some degree,
to an extent,
to some degree, yes, exactly, with limitations. But at the end of the day,
that
dude,
can't be like the main priority.
And that's what they were making it was the main priority, dude. And I would just like, I would make the quote unquote joke, right? Of like, hey, you know, we're literally in the business of killing people, right? And then it was just like, oh, I can't believe it. I'm like, dude, you built like 12 500-pound bombs today. Like, where do you think those bombs are going?
I'm worried about feeling safe in my work environment, but I'm surrounded by 30,000 pounds of explosives.
Yeah. As long as I'm killing a village of small brown people I never met or otherwise had a problem with, I'm okay.
Oh, yeah, they don't think about it, but if my coworker says something stupid to me, I'll get pissed off and cry about it.
Yeah, dude. Oh, for fucking sure, dude. But I don't know, man. I just can't understand, like, because you know someone high up in the Navy had to sign off on that.
100%, yeah.
Like, not that far from the president.
But how can they look? How can they look them fucking selves in the mirror and be like, "This is a great idea. This is gonna pull troops in.
This is a warrior."
Yeah,
you know, I thank me for my service. I'm fighting for your freedoms.
Yeah, man.
God, that shit kind of pisses me off more I think about it. You can hear it coming out of my voice.
Yeah, man. It's hard not to get mad about it if you care about America.
God,
like, what the fuck,
it, dude? I just think like the military is one of those old institutions. Of course, it needs to evolve to some degree,
and it has. It's gone way too fucking far.
But it's gone way too. Politics got involved, dude.
Yeah,
got to get politics out of that shit, dude. I know the president's commander in chief, but like at the end of the day, man, like all those dudes who run that shit were like they earned their rank and like moved up, and like, they were like, hey, like we shaped this force and stuff.
But that shit's changed now. Now it's more of a fucking ass kissing contest to make rank. Like you don't promote by doing your job anymore. That's the fucked up part.
Yeah, that was even happening like when I was in, man. Because I got out, what, like 2.5 years ago? 3 years ago. And, dude, it was like the people who were getting promoted had no idea how to do the job.
Dude, that's the thing. Like, as soon as you hit E5 to get... from E1 to E5, that's basically 90% work orientated.
Sure. And I got out as an E5 too.
Same. I did too, because at that point it's fucking dick sucking all around. Like,
isn't that funny how we just kind of were like, nah, we're not doing this shit.
And that's how like most of my friends, as soon as they hit that level, they realize what it is, and you just get out because you're either gonna fucking play the game or you're not.
Yeah. It's just a bureaucracy, dude.
It is. It becomes more of just a regular ass fucking job than being in the military.
Yeah, dude. And it's so like, I don't know. But then like people kind of become like, honestly, for lack of better words, like cunts.
Yeah.
You know, because they realize you can't punch them in the face. So they'll like act like straight up bitches. And shit.
And just fucking
like high school drama level, like, but he said, and he did this. And
like whenever they peaked in high school because they were the QB. And then, Now they're at E7 with 17 years.
And they did like one deployment to Kuwait, and they're just like, I'll tell you about war. I'll tell you about war.
I've seen a thing or two. I've been in Florida for 15 years, motherfucker.
Staff Sergeant Allen, who just came back from Iraq and had a friend who got killed. Yeah, I'll tell you about
you
war.
Don't know a goddamn thing.
Really? I mean, like, we're making fun of it, but those are like real conversations that happen and shit.
I don't know, man. Like,
but I have faith, like, the smartest and most capable people actually end up leaving. I do like that to some degree.
True, but then where does that leave our military?
They got to get better. It forces them to have to get better. Like, what we're going through right now is a natural progression. Like, they have to suck, and it's going to get way worse.
Okay, so you think we're, like, on the downward turn, but you do foresee, I guess, once we hit rock bottom, they're going to be like, holy shit, we got to change some stuff.
Eventually, there'll be a leader that comes in that just fucking pistol whips them into, like, fucking shape.
They're like, do you want do you want to meet our quota or not? Because here's what we're going to have to do, and here's what we're not going to be able to allow.
Even beyond, like, quota, like, just, like, performance standards.
Yeah.
You know, like, physical fitness, I mean, like, mental health, like, as far as, like, can you meet the mission, all that stuff. Man, like, there eventually will be like another like General Patton that comes along, who's just like, fuck you, I drink a fifth of vodka a day and I walk around with 2 revolvers on my hips
and I can still run a 5K in 17 minutes. Like, fuck out of here.
Because historically he was one of the only, like, he was what, 5-star general? He was one of the only 5-star generals we ever had, like, in history. He's like, I think you can count him on like one hand. Did you ever go to his gravesite in Luxembourg?
No.
Luxembourg?
No.
Yeah. I went to Luxembourg. Has a really, really badass, and this is like super awesome. They do this, man. It's almost on par with Arlington National Cemetery, and it is all these troops who died like in World War II.
Mm-hmm.
And Patton is buried there with his troops.
That's cool.
And I went to his gravesite, and it's like the Luxembourgish government like pays for all of it. They keep all of it up, and it's just like, hey, like, thank you so much for what you did. Yeah, dude. And they have like a visitor log too. You sign in and stuff, so it becomes like a historical document of like you actually physically went there and like saw it and everything. Yeah, cool. But he was badass. You know how he died?
No.
I'm going to gloss over some of the details, but for the most part, he was hanging out with a friend and he was bragging. All right, like, oh, here's what we do or whatever, like smoking a cigar. And he's like already like a bottle of vodka deep. Like, he's fucked up, right? And this dude, I mean, he literally would just like wear his helmet, like his 5 stars, like in the circle formation. And he would have like revolvers on each hip, right?
Like, goddamn gunslinger.
Yeah, it was like literally, he was a cowboy, dude, basically. And he'd just be like, like, he'd just tell people how it was or whatever. And he's driving with his friend or whatever, and he's fucked up, and then he wrecks. And some of the glass out of like the army Jeep fucking broke, and it fucking slit his throat, and he bled out, and that's how he died. Yeah. And they said that like the fact that he was so fucked up like thinned his blood so much.
So he just like shot out of it.
Shot out like
a goddamn horror movie, like fountains of blood.
But he was like, bury me with my men.
Hell yeah.
You know? So I kind of respected that. I ain't gonna lie, man.
That's like an old school like ship captain. Go down the ship. Like,
it's like, you boys get out of here, I'm gonna handle this. And they're like firing up a pipe, you know, like adjusting their hat.
Taking that wheel and spinning.
Dude, holy shit, could you imagine? You know, it's funny, like, now I think about it, like, did the captain of the Titanic actually go down with the ship? Or did that bitch get on that lifeboat?
I think he went down, but I don't know for that. I don't know for that for sure.
I need to look that shit up, man. Yeah, because that'd be interesting.
He better fucking went down with that thing.
God, glorious. Could you imagine? That's gotta be terrifying, though. It's just like, that water is 33 degrees.
I would run to the nearest fucking liquor cabinet and just start chugging at that point.
Oh yeah, you remember that story about that guy on that, I know we're getting like off topic, man, like bouncing around. We were talking about that, we're on like Titanic, you know. Hey, welcome to the Dumpster Diaries Podcast. Don't forget to follow us on, and I quote,
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube.
There you go. So yeah, you remember that story about the guy who like lived
he kept himself warm enough?
Yeah, because he drank so fucking much, because he was like, fuck it, I'm gonna die. And he drank so much fucking liquor that he just stayed warm, and he survived in the water for like 2 hours, and they found his ass. And everyone else was like frozen like a solid block.
He was like, hey, get me the fuck out of here. I'm tired of hanging on.
Oh fuck, I'm still alive.
I'm wasted.
Just when you think alcoholism is entirely bad, ladies and gentlemen.
In certain situations, it can save your life.
Sure. Yeah.
Way more than not, it kills you. But there are those certain situations.
Give you weight gain and diabetes and liver failure. But fuck it, if you're going to freeze to death, drink some of that shit. But anyway, man, get back on topic, dude. So the Navy is completely fucked from my understanding, right?
At this point,
God damn it, dude.
Which makes me, like, So I don't really know very much about the Space Force, but I do know one of the guys that I was in the Air Force with him. He is now a recruiter for the Space Force. So
that's kind of cool.
It is.
Yeah.
I really don't know. Like, I think they have to do with like satellite type stuff. Like, I'm not really sure what all their jobs even are.
Space.
Yeah, like space satellites. Like,
I just fuck with you, man.
Yeah.
Just like anything that's in space.
They're like goddamn Galileo and shit.
Who knows? I mean, I've heard like rumors, and these are conspiracy theories, that there are weapons that are basically like satellites that like revolve around the Earth and shit like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Definitely, totally 100% conspiracy theories, and I did not say anything that I should not have ever said. So take that with a grain of salt, ladies and gentlemen. But there may be high-powered weapons like floating around the Earth.
Subscribe if you believe us.
Give us a like and share. You know? Seems to be going pretty well. Our views are going through the goddamn roof. Yeah, apparently we pissed a few people off. You want to talk about that for like 2 seconds?
That's the way it goes.
Speaking of, just pissing people off. Yeah, dude, I think our shit is kind of skyrocketing, at least on Instagram.
People are trying to silence us. Cancel
culture is bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, share our shit.
Don't let them drag you down. We're in this together.
You know what's funny is like if you actually listen to our show, like you realize like how legit our shit is. You know,
yeah,
like,
and we're extremely open-minded.
Yeah. Like we're like totally cool about it. Yeah. We're like, oh, cool. Like I'll hear a difference of opinion. Like think about it, and like you and I even disagree on like some
for
shit.
Sure.
You know, be like, oh, like what do you think about this, and talk about it from different angles. But like our reels, man, that's where it's like, it's if you don't actually like listen to the show and you just watch our reels, you are either going to cry laughing.
Or you'll hate us.
Hate our fucking guts. You know? Yeah, man. Oh, dude.
But so
how that Greta Thunberg is going right now. That real.
I don't know. Heard her OnlyFans is boom popping. She's 20, by the way, you motherfucker. She's an adult.
I know, right? I was telling my friend about that reel, and he was like, "Isn't she a minor?" Like he brought it up, and like that was one of the comments, and I was like, "Yeah, she was a minor like 5 years ago, dude." Yeah. Like I was like, "Now she."
And
like again, whatever, 3 years
just
ago.
Just because you're on OnlyFans doesn't mean you're showing your fucking shit out.
Yeah,
there's plenty of other educational things on OnlyFans.
Speaking of that, man, should we do the announcement about our OnlyFans debut?
Might as well.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we have some milestones we want to hit, and we've been debating them. You know, I think we're kind of like hovering around, 500, maybe 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah,
right?
Probably 1,000, because at this rate, we're going to hit 500 pretty fucking soon.
Yeah. So we're...
actually, by the time this shit airs, we might hit 500, honestly.
Yeah, well, because we are actually a little ahead.
Yeah.
So, but we are going to do a live show on OnlyFans. So if you support Dumpster Diaries, subscribe to our OnlyFans.
You won't see our dicks unless you pay like extra for that. But
extra. Like,
we haven't came up with a regular dollar amount for that. But I don't know, probably like what, $3?
If you drop $6, I'll show my nutsack on camera. Like I don't give a fuck. But I just think it'd be hilarious. Like if like I don't know. I've never been on OnlyFans. I mean, we gotta do our research, figure out how the fuck that platform works, because we're on like what?
You just gotta scan your ID.
Is that all it is?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty fucking simple.
But like I just imagine like it being like a YouTube page where it's like all these like thumbnails
cam
of like,
girls and shit.
Yeah, it's just cam girls out the ass, and then like us in the middle, like literally with this setup that you see behind us for those of you watching video, like, and it's just like, all right, like now we're live on OnlyFans, you know, like I don't know, but I think it'd be pretty funny to like announce that, especially if when we do other stuff, you know, we can just tell people to subscribe to our OnlyFans, because that's definitely.
And we'll have like the OF logo at the top of all our videos and shit too. Get people wondering like, what the fuck are these guys doing off cam? Like,
yeah, because
I'm gonna pay for this.
I know we talked about going live on like Facebook and YouTube, but I was kind of like, fuck it, I think OnlyFans would actually be funnier. You know, I don't know. Maybe that's what, you know, the fucking Navy digital ambassador should be doing, man. Is just get on OnlyFans, dude,
and perform his drag shows there.
There you go. Yeah, you want to talk about reaching an audience? There you go.
Yeah, but those people have to pay if they're trying to get in the military. They ain't got no money in the first place. That's the whole point.
That's what got me.
Yeah, same. That and not going to jail.
Yeah, we both got in some precarious legal situations where we highly encouraged to go to the military at a very young age.
Maybe that's what it is too now. Maybe people just get slapped on the wrist too much and there's no like actual repercussions. Like it used to be a very fucking common thing. It was like join the military or go to jail. Like that was a very
because that's how the judge. I mean, remember, the judge for the Justice of the Peace down the road or whatever. He that's how he was, man. And he was a non-vet. And he was like straight up. And like my recruiter came and was like, yeah, dude, like he's like enlisted, like he's just delayed, like we're just waiting to ship him out.
That was the same shit that happened to me. I got in trouble 7 days before I was supposed to leave.
And so he was just like, if you do this to this kid, like it's gonna ruin like his military career. And he was like, is he going?
Yeah. They were like, is he really fucking going?
Yeah. And dude, I went and I basically didn't come back for a fucking decade. So, you know, it's good. But sometimes that good old boy shit works, you know?
True.
Sometimes. When it's in the right hands.
Yeah.
But I felt like that was a good judge, though.
And, like, I don't know, I feel like both of us became better people for what we did.
Sure. We definitely became, like, independent.
Yeah. And not as fucking stupid. Well, that is. I'll speak for myself. But yeah.
Well, I don't know. Have you watched our reels? Dude, I'm sorry, man. I keep seeing those YouTube comments come in. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, half these people are fucking idiots.
The other half are cool.
Yeah, I like to think the cool ones actually subscribe to our shit. You know what I mean?
I would think so. Well, I don't know. Maybe the haters do too, and they just want to watch all our shit and downvote us and talk shit. But
could be. We're getting remixed on fucking Instagram.
Keep on commenting, motherfuckers. But let's talk about this fucking Illinois cash bail.
Yeah, sorry, man. I'm cutting you off. I know you got a couple talking points.
Man.
All right, so it's Illinois ends cash bail.
Yeah,
what is this?
So Illinois is going to be the first state in the country to eliminate the cash bail system. So, you know, like traditionally whenever you would get arrested, you would go to jail and they would be like, depending on what you did, but it's 10% of your total fine. So they'd be like, all right, you got a $5,000 bail. Pay $500 and you can get out, and you just got to show up
if you used a bail bondsman.
Yeah.
Because you could just front the straight up cash and like avoid all of that and do your own thing, right?
If you can
afford it.
That, and if you're able to, like, sometimes I don't know. Sometimes all that shit's kind of different. Like sometimes they'll be in a situation where they won't let you do it. You have to go through a bail bondsman.
Oh, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, I don't know if that's entirely legal, but I think that kind of depends on the fucking county you're in. But anyways,
probably how it rolled in Illinois for a while.
Probably fucking so.
Because I think Texas, you can just straight up just like front up, like you can just sack up your own like money bag and be like.
Well, that's how most drug dealers would do it, because they would be like, call their baby mom and be like, "Yo, beat down this wall. I got $20K in this fucking.
Get my ass out of here."
Yeah,
yeah. We'll deal with this shit later.
Mm-hmm.
All right, man. So what's a big problem with the Illinois ending cash bails? Man?
Well, the reason why they ended it is because people were saying that it was racist. Care to take a guess on how that makes any sense, or why people would say that?
Is this a loaded question?
Probably.
I don't understand how that could be perceived as racist.
Because isn't to say that it's racist is racist. Because their argument is...
So, it's like an equation. Don't they just cancel out?
No, I don't know. It's the pot calling the kettle black.
Like, if you balance an equation, you got a racist on one side and racist on another. Like, they cancel each other out. Zero, right?
No, it just becomes reverse racism.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, then you got to... I don't know. I'm not good at math, but... racism. Anyways. So, they were saying that... They were basically demeaning... minorities and saying that they don't have money to bail themselves out and only white people can afford to bail themselves out, therefore we should end cash bail. That was the fucking argument.
Alright, so they're saying it's racist, against blacks because they don't have money to bail themselves out? Yeah, that's their
argument. Have they never have they not been to a fucking trailer park?
Yeah.
Like, have they not been to a fucking meth den? Like,
well, like my thing is like, you know, I think we talked about it on like a previous episode, like fucking weeks and weeks ago. You know, as far as like, you know, the demographic that is doing the best, like financially, is actually Asian Americans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like the median household income for them is like, I think it's like $10,000 or $15,000 more than the median household income for whites. And then it goes through your various demographics below that. So
but Asians hold themselves to, their family, they hold themselves to a higher standard. Typically.
I would have said that initially until that Stop Asian Hate movement happened. Like, because then they made it like a social issue on them. Like, prior to that, you didn't hear shit out of them, dude. Like, they came over here, they worked their fucking ass off.
They became fucking doctors,
they fucking
mathematicians.
Put their kids through fucking college. They opened fucking businesses. They shut the fuck up. They did it right. Like, they played by the fucking rules.
Yeah.
You didn't hear shit, dude. And then when everyone started getting all social justice warrior, like, what, fucking 3 years ago?
Yeah.
right? And all these various movements started coming out, which we're still fucking hearing about all goddamn day. When the Stop Asian Hate movement fucking happened, I was like, fuck, not the entrepreneurs that came over and like really fucking did it, right? But it's probably their children. That were like fucking spoiled brats in college and shit like that, like trying to make a thing out of something. Was there cases of like fucking Asians being attacked and shit during COVID? Sure, absolutely. No one can deny it. But it wasn't like some global fucking pandemic and shit that was happening.
Well, man, that
probably just pissed off like fucking a million people right there.
Dude, you know? I think that the Stop Asian Hate thing was perpetrated by white people. I think the Asians didn't really fucking start much of that shit.
True, yeah, absolutely. I mean, like
the same thing with fucking Native Americans
and Black Lives Matter.
Yeah. All of that shit, it's fucking idiotic white people that start that shit, and they want to play, social justice hero, save the fucking day, whenever the actual people that they're fighting for are like, dude, leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah, so to loop it back around to the Illinois ends cash bail like topic, man, like I would bet my left nut the proprietors of that legislation are not even minorities.
I'm sure, yeah, it's probably fucking white people.
The ones bitching about it are not minorities, you know?
And that seems to be... That seems to be more common than not at this point.
Now, do I think bail gets a little excessive? Sure.
I mean, do I think it's a goddamn cash grab money scam? Yes.
Yeah, dude, that's the state shaking you down.
But I should have the option to bail myself out of jail and get out of there.
Yeah, and maybe some of it should be regulated a little better, where it's more like, I don't know, applicable to the individual, maybe their income and stuff. I mean, like, for example, like you get a guy who gets like...
That's a good idea.
Yeah, the guy gets hung up on a fucking DUI, honest to fucking God, normal fucking Joe, right? Not selling drugs, not doing any crazy shit, whatever. He makes $50K a fucking year. I don't know.
Why should fucking Pelosi's husband have to pay that same amount of money?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. But then that ushers in like some aspect of socialism.
That is true, because then why am I being punished for making more money?
This is also probably the reason why you and I do not hold political office. Because we're just yet. Keep subscribing and liking, ladies and gentlemen, because we are moving on up. We're like the fucking Jeffersons in here. So I don't know, but like, I mean, you did strike, a chord with that, statement saying, typically, when there's a social movement, the individuals representing that social movement are not a part of, the victims, like, the demographics being like represented and stuff, and that is the most annoying shit I've ever seen in my life. Interesting enough, the Unabomber actually wrote about that in his manifesto.
Oh yeah.
Industrial Society and Its Future. Yeah. And he actually talked about like the white liberals were like basically essentially the root cause of a lot of problems that we see today.
They're like the main shit starters.
Oh, yeah. He shitted on liberals hardcore in that book. It's good. I mean, it's only like 100 pages. And the fucked up part is like they painted him as being crazy and like scary and like all. I mean, obviously, like he was a domestic terrorist. Sure, right? Like, bombing airliners, universities, all this shit. Yeah.
Not good.
Killing people, maiming people for life. Reason why he went to prison for the rest of his life. Absolutely cannot disagree with that anymore, But when you read his literature, that man was not crazy.
That shit makes sense.
He was not insane. Yeah. But he was a big environmental activist.
That's why he started that shit originally, right? Because he was like against big business and like industrialization kind of.
Any business that basically just fucked up the earth, he was just like, fuck it, I'm gonna attack these fucking people. So he attacked CEOs like companies. He attacked like professors at universities, that taught shit on like, say, like, I don't know, forestry, like logging, for example, or like oil and natural gas and stuff like that. Yeah.
So he was pretty much a hippie.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
He was a hippie.
I mean, we can go down the Unabomber story and stuff. That was actually a point I think I tried to make like fucking 7 episodes ago. But you want to talk about it for a second?
Might as well. We got time.
Yeah. Fuck it. What are we in? 30 minutes?
He was a terrorist.
Yeah, we got time.
Hippie terrorist.
Yeah, man. So he was a smart kid. How much do you know about the Unabomber?
I don't know very much about him. I know basically what I've said is about what I know about him already. So.
All right, cool. All right, so young kid. I think he grew up. I'm trying to remember. Damn. We'll say the 50s, but I might be wrong on that. Very intelligent. Very intelligent. So he got accepted to Harvard at the age of 16.
Oh, shit.
That's how smart he was.
He was a goddamn prodigy.
Yeah. So this is before fucking computers. This is before, like, cell phones, any of that bullshit, right? Okay? Like, this dude did it on his own, okay? And he gets there, and, he's basically instantly ostracized because he's a child.
Yeah.
And, like, all these other people walking around, like, 20 years old, 21,
like, what's
22.
Up, fucking nerd.
Yeah, pussy pushing him in a locker and shit. You know, and he was bullied a lot, like as a kid. Like he did not have a good childhood and stuff, right? And
was parents mean to him too?
I'm trying to remember, man.
Just in school.
No, I don't think his parents were like all that fucked up towards him. I think they just were like, "Hey, you're weird." You're like, "What's your problem, dude?" You know, like because he had a brother that was close to his age and stuff, right?
Oh, okay.
You know, and his brother like turned out completely normal.
His brother was like, "You think you're better than me?"
Yeah, just bucking him up and shit, you know. But so yeah, he goes to Harvard at like 16 or whatever, man, and you know, he's studying, I believe it was mathematics. And so, and he's doing extremely well. But the fucked up part is he gets roped into the MK Ultra program, which kind of brings us into a flash forward, well, I don't know, foreshadowing, sorry, for our next episode, which is going to be over conspiracy theories. We've been promising that for a minute, so that's going to come up. But anyway, so he literally falls like almost like in love. I don't want to say in love. You know how like students will admire,
infatuated.
Yeah, with like a professor, right? Yeah. It's just like, this is the person I want to be like. You know, like I model myself after this individual, which is totally normal. Which is how a lot of professors end up fucking students, right? Like,
yeah, they get up to that power.
Yeah. Kind of happened at our local university not too long ago. Anybody with half a brain can Google that and figure out that story. So like that made national news. So, damn, that dude fucked up, dude. He fucked up. But anyway, so the Unabomber, you know, is like, listen to, it was a psychology professor, right? And I believe the professor was actually a psychiatrist, like a medical doctor.
Okay.
And he was the liaison to the CIA for the MK Ultra project at Harvard. So administering LSD to students. Unsuspecting. Right? So he created this whole like experiment and made the Unabomber feel like Ted Kaczynski, like made him feel that he was special, right? It's like, oh, like I'm hand-picking you.
Yeah.
Like he would smoke cigarettes with him, like in the prestigious circles.
You were different from the rest.
You're different than them. And then he would get him into the room and it would just be Ted in a chair. And they would like literally like Clockwork Orange, like tie his hands down, tie his leg down, right? They'd like, have him hooked up to electrodes, monitoring his heart, his brain wave activity, all this other shit. And they would just cook this motherfucker's brain with LSD. And then they started fucking with him. They'd make him watch like super graphic like videos and shit, like
violence and sex and stuff.
War videos, violence, sex, like all kinds of shit and stuff. And they would just monitor like how he would react, right? And then they started really fucking with him. And they were like, they made up letters that weren't real letters that his mom allegedly, in quotations, sent to the psychiatrist that was like fucking running this program, talking about how I never loved my son.
Oh shit.
Like he was like, yeah, he like betrayed, like basically turned him against his entire family and stuff. And then like the experiments would be over and they'd be like, okay, you okay? And they would just go back to acting like normal.
You okay, champ?
And then, yeah, dude. And this went on for fucking years, dude. And they just fried this fucking dude's brain, dude. Anyway, he graduates from Harvard. And eventually, I believe he actually ended up getting his PhD. And then he ends up teaching at university. Now, this is where it gets a little fuzzy for me because I can't quite remember. But I want to say they became a professor at either Harvard or Stanford, if I remember right. And he taught like advanced like mathematics. So he was not a fucking idiot by any means, right? And
opposite.
Yeah, he was like literally a genius. Like he was like published, like he changed like apparently like some like mathematical laws and stuff like that, and was just like, hey, like, you know, like I'm good at what I do, right? And so apparently this is all like a front for him to get the money to live the lifestyle he wanted,
which was to be a fucking hermit, right?
Yeah, to be a hermit. So him and his brother had bought some land in rural, like middle of Beaufuck, Egypt, Montana. Like no electricity, no running water, and they built a cabin. Okay.
I love Montana.
Montana's beautiful. I love it. Have you been to Billings?
I have, yeah.
I like it because like Montana's so barren and there's like nothing there, and then when you get over like the hills, well,
it's like actual city,
and then it's crazy. You can just see like the sprawling city like out of nowhere. It's amazing, and the people there are so nice.
Dude. Oh yeah, they are
so nice. I mean, they're basically Canadians,
and they don't have fucking They don't have sales tax if I remember right.
Yeah. I remember that being a thing because they all bragged about it everywhere I went.
Yeah.
Like I was like, what the fuck? Like, all right, cool. I like it. I get down with that.
I went to the Dollar Tree and everything was legitimately 99 cents.
But so anyway, the Unabomber ends up living in this cabin. Like he quits his teaching job. Like so he teaches long enough to get his money straight.
Gets his nest egg.
Yeah, he gets a little nest egg, and then he just disappears for years and years, right? And then he just gets pissed, and he just starts writing on a fucking typewriter. And everything he bought was bought like at garage sales. Like it was like cash.
So like
there was no trace. He had no phone. Yeah, he had no phone, no electricity, no running water, nothing. Like he was literally off the fucking grid, dude. And in college, he had studied a little chemistry. He took that further, like in his private studies, and he learned how to make high-powered explosives. And dude, he just started like mailing fucking bombs. But the reason it took so long to fucking catch him is because obviously he lived this fucking hermit lifestyle. But he would get on a bus from Montana, and he would change buses throughout the trip. But essentially he would get on a bus from Montana, and then he would go to San Francisco, California. How fucking long that takes? What do you think? 20 hours?
Probably, dude. Buses suck.
Yeah, dude. Like easily. And he would wear like mask. Like he would have a fake beard or a fake mustache, like sunglasses, like a hat, like all this shit, like a wig, everything. And he would go down to like the Bay Area, and then he would just drop them in like the blue box.
Yeah.
And he would just be like, boop, there you go. And then it would fucking get to wherever it needed to go, and then it'd blow up. Not all of them were successful. He got better over time.
Yeah.
He started learning from his mistakes.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah. But that's why like the FBI couldn't catch him, dude. And he was so meticulous. Like he never left like a fingerprint. Like there was no hair follicles, like nothing. Like he would like understood like forensics. And he was just like, all right, this is how we're fucking doing this, man. And so eventually like he starts publishing his work. He gets famous. And the infamous like fucking sketch of him comes out, which actually happens to look like one of Moses and I's best friends. Or his driver's license photo. He looks just like the Unabomber, like just without the sunglasses. But it's a running joke with that. And so anyway, he starts publishing his works, right? And he starts threatening people like, hey, like he's sending them to like fucking newspapers and like magazines. Like, if you don't publish my shit, I'm going to bomb X, Y, and Z. And the FBI is just freaking the fuck out. Like they have like hundreds of like fucking people on task force, like been hunting this dude for a minute, dude. And so eventually he starts getting published, you know, and they're like, all right, like cool. And what the fuck else happened? So they looked at his writings. And they were like, this guy speaks in a unique way.
Oh, yeah.
Like he writes in a unique way, right? So they literally
got one of those fucking forensic linguists and all that.
Yeah, like, so here's the thing is prior to the Unabomber, that field of science did not exist.
Oh, so they had to create that branch specifically to catch him?
This is where the story gets really interesting because he almost got off. He almost got acquitted of everything. And they were like super worried. They were like, fuck, if this dude walks, we'll never see him again. And he's going to come back like fucking hellfire and brimstone, dude. Like they were like legit scared. And so they start analyzing. They're like, all right, this guy speaks uniquely. And there was a couple agents that were like, hey, there might be something to this. It became this whole like pissing contest of turning this into like something they could actually investigate, right? They collaborate with universities. They get like professors who specialize in languages and stuff. Mm-hmm. And they're like, oh, absolutely. This is a thing. Like we've been talking about it for years, but no one really believes us. So they create linguistic forensic analysis. Mm-hmm. And they literally write up this whole fucking thing. And that's like in their search warrant. They finally are like, okay, like we figure out like who this guy is. They published it. And they like basically published it across the entire country. And they're like, somebody out there has to recognize this writing. You know, like if you write me a letter, I'm going to know that's from you.
Yeah.
I'll definitely know it's not from you. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because that shit happens like whenever somebody gets kidnapped or killed and the other person just steals their phone and tries to like text their relatives about it. And they'll be like, we knew that wasn't them because they don't talk the same.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely, man. And so they send this shit, they publish this shit like all across the entire country. And fucking, of course, thousands of people are like, my ex-boyfriend's a Unabomber. You know what I mean? Like, my ex-husband, like, whatever, like, fucking my landlord. Like, you know.
Yeah. Anybody.
So they just start knocking on every fucking door of everyone who calls, man. And then eventually, like, the agent that was, like, trying to, like, push for that linguistic analysis initially, he knocks on the door of Ted's brother, essentially. And he was like, hey, yeah, that sounds exactly like my brother. And he turned over personal letters because his brother would just write letters because, I mean, he had no form of communication.
Oh, true. So that was his only, that's the only way to get.
So he turned over hundreds of letters to the FBI. He was like, if this is him, he's like, I want to know. And they analyzed all of it, and they were like, absolutely.
And they can fucking trace, like, if you write your O's different or your E's a certain way, like, they'll match that shit up too.
Yep. And so they eventually were like, yeah, like, we can tell with, like, a high confidence this is your brother.
Yeah.
So in the search warrant, like, you know, they quoted, like, hey, like, this basically made up science, which turned out to be a real science. We used it to get you. And so they go and they get a search warrant for the cab, and they find him. And they immediately arrest his ass. And the first thing he wants to see is a fucking search warrant. And he reads it, and he's just like, this is bullshit. And then the FBI is just like, fuck me.
He's like, I don't even have an address. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah. And so there's actually a really cool show called The Unabomber or whatever, like on Netflix or whatever. It's called Manhunt Unabomber. But so the agent, like in the show at least, the agent that arrested him and like did all the work basically goes in there to interview him, and it's just like, we got you. And he starts slapping down photos of like all this evidence. He's like, we're gonna bury you in fucking prison, all this other shit. And then dude, like Ted Kaczynski just fucking shatters this dude like in a minute, like straight up just like brings him to his knees. And he's just like, so like, I see all of this evidence allegedly against me, blah 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 blah. And he was like, but I'm looking at the search warrant, and he's like, I see here you quote, you know, forensic linguistic analysis. And he was like, but I've never heard of that. He was like, none of my colleagues have. He's like, I can't find any literature over it. He was like, so I'm just wondering, where did you get your PhD? Where did you get your master's? Did you even get a bachelor's degree or an associate's?
What schooling have you had?
He was like, where's your official training? And then he's just like, I don't have to prove I'm innocent. He's like, I just have to prove you're incompetent. And then they're just like, oh, fuck. Like, he blew the lid. And so anyway, I know it's getting like a long ass story. I just love the story. It's a great story. I mean, because it spanned like 20 years. Yeah. If I remember right, like roughly. So eventually they get his ass in court, and he's like, yo, I might actually be able to beat this shit. Like, which would have been like the most gangster fucking move ever, dude. You know what I mean? Like walking away from that shit. Like, God damn.
Especially when everyone knows he did that shit.
Yeah, dude. And so he realizes like his counsel that's supposed to be defending him, which is a public defender, because he has no money at this point, right?
You already use it taking bus trips.
Yeah, and buying explosive precursors. So he realizes his counsel is basically working against him. Because, like, everyone knows he's guilty as fuck. And, like, this guy is, like, truly evil, right?
Yeah,
and they're just like, hey, this guy has to go to fucking prison. So he fires his fucking counsel, and he's like, I'll defend myself. And he actually has, like, a good fucking case.
The only person that's got my back is me.
Yeah, he actually had, like, a good case and shit, dude. But the judge stepped in and deemed him insane.
Oh.
Criminally insane. And that's
so then he couldn't defend himself.
He couldn't defend himself. And they buried his ass in fucking prison for life, dude.
So they were like, one way or the other, motherfucker, you're going down.
Mm-hmm.
Like he didn't stand, like he had no chance.
I mean, did they do the right thing in the end? Sure.
Yeah, because he was like,
but their tactics were a little fucking shady, dude. You know what I mean? So it kind of makes you wonder, like, I don't know. I mean, dude, we talked about it so many times on the podcast, like questioning the government, like always double checking their shit and stuff. Yeah. I mean, how far away is that from like, oh, we can just weaponize our fucking, I don't know, allegedly Department of Justice against like citizens and, you know, just make up some fucking bullshit and then, you know, like throw someone in a cage.
What if bin Laden would have been in that situation? Do you think they would have just said, fuck you?
Well, first of all, I don't know if you really want to go down the bin Laden track, man. We got what? 15 minutes left?
We'll probably need to save that for another time.
All right. I'll give some foreshadowing. How about that? All right. Keep it simple.
Short synopsis.
We did not kill bin Laden.
No.
You really think the most wanted man in the world, you'll never see a legitimate photograph of his body right? I mean, there was photographs, but it was all like staged bullshit. You could clearly tell.
Dude, just
then,
like the fucking Hitler shit.
Yeah, and like, oh, dude, that next episode, we're actually talking about that in our conspiracy episode, dude. But the thing is like the most wanted fucking man in the world, you quote unquote kick his body into the ocean because you don't want someone to build a shrine in his memory.
Like that makes no sense.
Fuck that. So here's the thing: when we caught Saddam, what the fuck did we do? We hung that motherfucker. That was a live television.
I watched that video. That shit was cool. I was like, yeah, get him.
Yeah, I don't think we fucking killed him. And like honestly, the fact that like all these like Navy SEALs allegedly from like SEAL Team 6 came forward and wrote all these books.
Yeah.
When the fuck? Yeah. When it was still super classified. When the fuck have you ever seen someone from the military talk about shit like that?
Never.
Because your ass is going to fucking prison if you talk about it. Yeah, exactly. So I just think it was all like bullshit. I think he died. Yeah. We might have got lucky and bombed the shit out of a cave somewhere or some crap, you know, or maybe we just said, fuck it. Eventually he had to fucking die.
At this point, he's got to be dead anyway. He's old.
Yeah. Yeah. Because he was old when he did that shit. Yeah. So I just think we just took credit, man.
Probably.
You know? So I don't know.
We needed a win. So.
Oh fuck, man! All right, like I'm trying to remember. Like, I know we do our shit unscripted, man, but we have like talking points and stuff. But there was it was a Big Pharma you wanted to talk about, right? You had something you wanted to go on about Big Pharma.
I'm always ready to shit on those motherfuckers, man.
Yeah, because if we go down the Bin Laden fucking rabbit hole, we're gonna be here for another 45 minutes. All right, I'm like Alex Jones, damn.
Bin Laden, Big Pharma, they coincide. It's all fucking connected, man.
All right, tell me what's up, man. What's your beef with Big Pharma right now, man?
So those motherfuckers, they made $215 billion in profit last year, but only paid 3% taxes. Now, the average tax percentage is about 21%. So, somehow, care to take a guess how they get away with that shit? There's multiple ways and reasons that they do get away with this.
I don't even know where to fucking begin, dude.
So,
like, I mean, you're talking about American companies, right?
Yeah, all American. Like
in quotations, American companies, right?
They supposedly operate. Well, they like to operate in America, but they have offshore bank accounts. So
oh, sure, man.
That's one of the ways they circumvent paying taxes.
So they just put that shit like in the Cayman Islands or something like that?
Yeah, the Caribbean, fucking multiple places in Europe, basically anywhere where they can't be fucking penalized and taxed from our government.
And how the fuck do we not have fucking laws that stops this shit?
Because those people will profit off of that. Because guess who the number 2 lobbyist is in America? It's fucking Big Pharma.
God damn it, dude.
So,
but here's the fucking problem, ladies and gentlemen. If you get $600 or more in your fucking Cash App, you're the fucking enemy, right? Yes. Fuck that, dude. Y'all guys need to start voting.
They'll treat you like the goddamn Unabomber. You get $650 in the Cash App, you're going down.
It'd be a fucking team of 100 agents fucking trying to string this shit together. Kick red yarn.
Yeah, they don't know who.
Shoot your dog.
Yeah, they don't know who the fuck left that coke in the White House. But $600 on your Cash App, you're going down.
Holy fuck, dude.
What do we live in?
God damn. It's the hypocrisy of it all, you know? That's what fucking pisses me off.
But yeah, they always want to look out for the little guy, a.k.a. squash your goddamn brains in.
Yeah.
That's what pisses me off, is there's no equality.
Yeah, man.
Like, it would be cool, like...
Because that's a stroke of a pen, you could stop that.
Yeah.
And they're like, ugh!
But it doesn't benefit them to stop that. It benefits them to let it go. Yeah.
Yeah, dude. Fucking
And the lobby, like, they can spend, they can spend $6 million in order to save $50 million.
Well, that's like the Purdue Pharma shit with Oxycontin stuff we were talking about. Yeah. Like, they profited, they made profit, legit, clean and clear, $11 billion off selling like Oxy, basically slow release heroin.
Yeah.
To the American people, right? And then they just paid a fine in an agreement to not have to be fucking prosecuted. Like, they get immunity from prosecution of $6 billion. So these motherfuckers, these cocksuckers, for lack of better terms, like, walk away with $5 billion profit. Yeah. They fucking won. They fucking won, dude. I think every motherfucking legislator that let that shit happen should be fucking hung in the streets, dude.
I mean... You got, I'm sure they have family members that got addicted to that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I know that was more like in the courts and stuff like that, but I mean, I'm just like the legislators that like allow that type of practice to still continue. Like fucking.
And then they want to get pissed about fentanyl.
Yeah.
It's because they're not making the money.
Or they'll be like, Orange Man bad, he wants to build a wall bad.
Yeah.
You know? It's just like, oh yeah, okay, fuck. Okay, here we go, right?
Yeah.
But like you cocksuckers sure as fuck get on the nipple of that fucking big pharma fucking teat, you know?
Oh yeah. Every day, man.
I mean, can you really blame them? I mean, I guess like at that fucking point, but at the same, I mean, you definitely hold them fucking accountable. But I'm just saying, when you start seeing that many zeros behind a one,
I mean, the majority of people are going to turn a blind eye and take that cash.
Yeah, for fucking sure, dude.
But it's still bullshit.
It's bullshit because we're not in on it.
Exactly.
You know? No, but seriously,
this
man.
message sponsored by Pfizer.
We should start making fake Pfizer commercials like in our show and shit. You know?
Oh man.
Yeah, that's a fast track getting sued.
True.
Yeah, I think you probably actually could get sued over that.
Probably if we had like just have it in a very positive manner, but just show like drug addicts,
like our intro.
Yeah, yeah.
Where it's just like people nodding out, like right after like Trump giving like a MAGA speech or whatever. It's like "Make America Great Again." And it's like crackheads falling out on the street. I don't know. I just like the duality. I enjoy making fun of like hypocrisy and shit like that. I really do. It's so easy.
Well, it's like one of those things. If you don't make fun of it, you get fucking pissed off about it. So it's better to laugh than to dwell on it. Angry about it.
Me and you just sitting in a fucking cabin in Montana.
Yeah,
fucking thinking about it.
Letters, typing on typewriters, man. Like,
for all of our intelligence community members in Virginia who have been listening to our show because we get it on a map based on your IP addresses, that was a joke. Clear as day, right?
I haven't been to Montana in like 3 years, man. Calm down.
Yeah, and I just drove through there one time. That map is kind of cool, though, where we can kind of see where people are lighting up and shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For those of you listening, we're totally kind of big in the UK.
And Malaysia.
Malaysia. Of all fucking places, Malaysia.
We love Malaysia. Shout out to Malaysians.
Yeah, we're going to Malaysia. We're going to do a live feed on our OnlyFans from Malaysia.
Yes. We're looking for people to interview. So if you're an interesting Malaysian, let us know.
We go to Dublin. Dublin's cool. Brussels. Those guys are cool. Paris.
Nah, fuck Paris.
Yeah, fuck Paris, man. They're crazy. Are this motherfucker still riding?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of.
They're always riding, though.
They are.
Always pissed off about something.
Yeah, with their trucks and knives because they don't have guns.
Oh shit, man.
Speaking of guns.
Where are we going? Where are we going with this?
Zuckerberg.
Speaking of guns.
Well, yeah, he's another total. There's a way of hypocrisy.
There's a way to connect this, and I'm trying to like follow you here.
So,
but what the fuck?
Zuckerberg has spent $43 million on his own personal security detail in the past 3 years.
Oh shit!
But yet he's also donated $5.5 million in the past 2 years to liberal anti-police campaigns, basically defund the police organizations. So again, which the what is the governor of Chicago? What is her name?
Oh fuck, dude! You put me on the
Lightfoot. Yeah.
Well, she was the mayor of Chicago.
Mayor. That's She does the same exact shit.
Really?
She has a multi-million-dollar security detail, but yet she was all for defunding the police. That's because
Oprah Winfrey shit.
Yeah, because again, the
Jesus
elites,
Christ.
they love fucking anarchy, but they still have their goddamn castles with their security guards and their like armed guards and stuff.
Do you think it's because? I mean, what do you think the reason for that is? Because it seems like they try to stoke divisiveness and like issue. They keep perpetuating like these social issues when really most of them, honestly, truly don't really exist. Like if you just go and talk to like the dude down the street and stuff, it's a normal fucking person. You know what I mean? Like they're not like in your face, like not screaming. It's just like, hey, how's it going? Like, oh, have a great day. Especially down where we live in the South. Like everyone waves at people when you drive by, dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
if you don't wave, you're like, oh, well, that guy was an asshole.
Like if your car breaks down on the side of the road, you're gonna have fucking 10 people that stop and ask you if you're gonna like need help.
Man or woman, like it doesn't matter.
True. Yeah. And so I don't know. I feel like, at least me personally, I feel like these, I don't even want to call them elitists. They're just rich cocksuckers, right? So these rich cocksuckers, I just feel like they figured out a way to make money off of all this shit.
Well, it's like,
and I think it's all centered around money. Personally.
Yeah, it goes to the saying like, united we stand, divided we fall. It's easier to rule people who are in fucking division, whereas if you're unified, you have a stand, you have a leg to stand on. Versus it's easier to just control people that are fucking mindlessly pissed off about shit that doesn't even affect them and has nothing to do with them in the first place.
Sure. Yeah.
And I'm assuming, I mean, I don't know, I'm sure you could fucking sell them shit easier. That's probably what it boils down to.
Yeah, like support this cause.
Yeah.
Like, here's the fucking link to my merch shop. You know what I mean? Like, how many times you fucking see that shit?
Just like goddamn Oprah Winfrey and The Rock made that commercial about asking people to donate money to the fires in Maui.
Yeah, dude. Like
if they gave a goddamn, they could donate some of their millions.
I remember you like telling me about that, dude, and then I was like, all right. I actually completely forgot about it, and then it came up in my feed.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh my god, it's the most cringiest shit in the world, dude. They're like
they're literally trying to guilt trip the average American into donating money to some shit whenever they have more money than they know what to do with.
Yeah, dude, and like. It's kind of funny. I mean, like, I know we made a fucked up reel about that.
It wasn't fucked up.
It was. Sorry, it pissed some people off.
Oprah started the fire.
We didn't start the fire, but Oprah did. Oprah did. According to Dumpster Diaries Podcast, according to that, Oprah started the fires in Maui to eradicate the homeless population.
Now, I'm not saying she was out there with a can of gas. But I'm not saying she wasn't.
But she definitely didn't stop it from happening. Yeah.
She could have funded helicopters to scoop water out of the ocean and dump it on there.
How is that short doing anyway?
Good.
Yeah, all of ours have been doing good like here lately.
People love it.
Yeah.
People want the truth.
They want the truth.
They're tired of bullshit. They want the truth. They want answers. They need answers.
I like how we put a little bit of truth and then we'll just sprinkle some shit in there, you know? And it's like you have to have half a brain to fucking know. But like if you don't.
But by doing it that way, that creates more conversation. That creates people doing their own research, and it sparks more of it. Like more people learn that way.
Well, that's
if you just spit a straight fact, the average person isn't going to care and isn't going to pay attention. But if you do say something knowledgeable and then say something either like comical or weird, people are like, "Wait, is that true?" And then they're actually going to fucking look it up themselves.
Yeah. Well, that's always like been our goal. Like you and I have talked about this like off camera like a lot. Like people just. They don't even watch like full length videos. I mean, you can look at like how many views we've had like on our shorts and reels. It's insane compared to the amount of people who actually watch the episodes.
It's like 98.9% views on the reels, but like 0.02 on the long form content. Like,
it's like, so the people who actually watch these videos, like all four of you, we're the ones that, we're making this for you guys, Yeah. And by the way, like if you want like, get the hookup when we come out with merch and stuff like that, man, you can always just email us straight up, like off our page, man. Like you guys, I mean, there's only like four of you, like I said.
Or just comment that shit.
Yeah. And we'll send you, I don't know, you cool, we'll send like a t-shirt, some stickers, some shit like that.
Send them something.
Yeah. We'll give them something.
It's in the works.
It's in the works.
But at least like other, like going back to the fire shit. Like,
sorry. I just rambled.
Other people were like one comedian, I don't remember his name, the bald guy, he's on the show with fucking Bert, the other guy, the good guy.
Oh, Tom Segura?
Yeah, Tom Segura. He made t-shirts and he was like, all proceeds go to the fire. He at least fucking offered people something.
Like genuinely, like legit?
Yeah.
Like it was like a charity kind of thing?
Yeah.
Oh, no shit.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, he's a good dude.
Yeah, his shit's cool. And I mean, he's raised a lot of money, and doing it that way is fair. Like people get something in return. Like
absolutely.
I get the fact of like donating for like that's cool. But if you're in a position, like if you have a large audience, instead of just asking people like pandering, begging, give them something. You have the fucking money to fund it. Like make it an enjoyable experience for everyone. And it helps people and builds that community. It helps you out also.
Well, when I see people like pandering like that, man, like I just think it's bullshit.
I do too, and it
like,
pisses me off. And I just immediately click off of that shit.
And yeah, true, absolutely. And like where I saw that, man, was like when the fucking BLM was asking for fucking money.
Oh yeah,
and then now all that shit's really starting to come out because Candace
do not have enough time to talk about that.
Yeah,
but yeah, it is
I just wanted to kind of end on that, dude.
Yeah.
Like that's $80 million that fucking disappeared, dude. And like, what was it? Like their top three guys, like they got fucked up by the FBI over that shit.
They did
because they were like buying houses and cars and like staying
literal
in, like,
mansions and shit. Oh, yeah. Quick thing, I was watching a snippet of Candace. Her documentary on that is called "Black Lives Matter: The Greatest Lie Ever Told."
Yeah.
So she walks up to the leader of like the main person in it, and she lives in a gated community house with a gate on it,
security guards. And
for
shit.
sure. Yeah. So Candace walks up there with her camera crew. She's like peeking through the gate, and she sees somebody. I'm assuming it's like a gardener or somebody that's paid doing work over there.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, do you have a moment to talk?" And the person starts turning around and walks. And then Candace is like, "All I see is that worker and the dog." And she's like, it's a lab. And she's like, even the lab isn't black.
Yeah, man, that was one crooked organization, dude. Yeah.
Scamming
as always.